What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. J. Cole released a new album titled For Your Eyes Only. J. Cole surprised his fans with this project. I don't think anybody was really expecting him to come out with another album this year, let alone on the 2-year anniversary of 2014 Forest Hills Drive. I thought that was such a cool thing to do because back then albums were still coming out on a Tuesday, so now that they're coming out on Friday, it kind of just presented the best opportunity. J. Cole has the magic touch. He's able to make the most out of the music that he makes. He puts the time and effort into it, and so his fans respond by buying it, by supporting him tough as he tours for 2 or 3 years in between albums. And he doesn't move like every other rapper in the industry. He's very secretive. Case in point, he has a daughter now. That is something that it's crazy that you can hide that. Someone as big as J. Cole is able to hide the fact that his wife was pregnant and now he has a child. We didn't even know about that. There was nothing in the tabloids. There was no photo saying, oh my God, J. Cole's wife is pregnant. It just happened. So for me, it's exciting to dive into the mind of J. Cole and see where his head is at on For Your Eyes Only. I found this theory on the album that I wanted to share. Unfortunately, I couldn't find who came up with it. We live in an era on social media where people crop out who came up with a theory, a meme, and they repost it on Instagram, they share it on Twitter. I don't get it. I hate that about this generation. Just give people credit. Keep their name there. So this theory comes from someone online who really nailed it. And I'll include a link to the photo so you can actually see it in depth. But I'm just going to kind of highlight what the story of the album is. The album is often dedicated to one of J. Cole's friends that passed away. You can hear that because at one point there's J. Cole's talking about selling drugs. He never sold drugs. He was around people that did. Most of the final song is done with the mindset of this being an open letter to J. Cole's friend's daughter. He says, if you're hearing this, I died. It is a very emotional song, and I'm going to kind of discuss it a lot more in depth in a second. So you have those two little tidbits right there. At the same time, though, this album is fitting for J. Cole because the two have parallel paths. J. Cole's friend obviously found love earlier and had a daughter way earlier than J. Cole, but at the same time you can see the paths are very similar because J. Cole found love and then he now has a daughter. So it's kind of like the two different timelines. Only one person made it out, and that's J. Cole. And so he is telling this story for his friend's daughter. He is telling the story for the world. It is a beautiful concept. I loved it. I think it made me appreciate the album a little bit more. Now let's talk about some of my favorite songs. Immortal. I might be alone in thinking this, but J. Cole's beats are nothing crazy. They're nothing to gush over. At the same time, though, they do complement his lyrics. So I hope that doesn't sound like it's contradicting himself. I just don't think the beats are a huge selling point of the album. There's nothing in here that you're gonna go, wow, this is crazy, oh my God. You're not gonna have those type of feelings when you listen to the music. On Immortal, though, it's one of the more fired up beats. And so that's why I think I liked it, because the album is not entirely shaped around the hype. It's not one of those albums that you can play on the radio. It's not one of the ones that you're going to hear in the club. It's very much a concept album. But Immortal, it is have that fired up vibe. And he's dropping a lot of great food for thought. He says, to die a young legend or live a long life unfulfilled. Because you want to change the world, but while you're alive, you never will. Because they only feel you after you gone, or I've been told. And now I'm caught between being heard and getting old. That is a lot to unravel in just those lines. Another record, which is a two-parter that I liked, was She's Mine. I went into the album expecting something different. Like, prior to this, when the track listing surfaced, we didn't know that J. Cole had a daughter. We didn't know the theme of the album. So I was expecting this to just be a traditional love song. She's Mine Part 1 is about finding a woman and falling in love. And Part 2 is about having a daughter and falling in love. And I think it finds J. Cole at his most vulnerable state. On Part 2, he says, "I never felt so alive." He says that over and over again. And it's just, I think I said the word beautiful earlier, but I'm going to use it again. It's beautiful to hear J. Cole just be so happy. To be able to document these type of moments are what makes J. Cole such a great artist. He captures the emotion that is needed to really resonate with the fans. The last record I wanted to highlight is titled For Your Eyes Only. It's the last song on the album, and man, it's heavy. This is the one that's going to send chills down your spine and tears are going to come out of your eyes. It's that impactful. J. Cole is writing from the perspective of his friend, and he's writing to his friend's daughter about, you know, everything that was going on in his life, just giving his daughter a better picture of what he was as a person. And so the record is very much filled with, man, it's hard to talk about it because it's just so emotional. So in the last verse, J. Cole appears as himself and talks about his friend, shares more details about how he was a good man that just got caught up in the system, a system that should have helped him, that should have educated him instead of sending him to jail. And he just talks about he really ends the album on such a great note right there. Being able to honor the memory of your friend is just, a great thing to do. I can't imagine how his friend's daughter is going to feel hearing this album for the first time. Now let's talk about bad songs. The only bad song on here is Folding Clothes. Look, the concept is cool. I just think it's a tad bit corny to make a song that revolves around falling in love and wanting to fold clothes because of it. It's something that J. Cole would do, because J. Cole does have his corny moments, let's be honest. But I just feel like it's the one song that you can omit from the track listing and the album doesn't lose anything because of it. For Your Eyes didn't need any guest features. There was no room for it. Really, this is a personal album, so nobody could come in and fill the shoes of any other people better than J. Cole. There is no better way to do this album than to have no features. Although I hope this isn't a trend for every J. Cole album. I would love to see him work with people, or at least do some more guest features on other people's projects, because he's very selective. Anyways, this album exceeded my expectations. Once I found that story and absorbed it and understood it and appreciated it, I found myself enjoying the album a lot more. I think, and this is early to tell, but just judging off of how I listened to J. Cole albums in the past, I think that this one, For Your Eyes Only, might be my favorite. I can see this album having more of an impact, more of a meaning on me when I have a family and have a child one day. So those are my thoughts on J. Cole's For Your Eyes Only. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter at @SermonsDomain. And as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching. And until next time, peace.